Okay, hold on. Now I got to record.
All of this used to just go on
Okay.
YouTube.
I like it.
Welcome aboard, all you wonderful groomers, pet stylists, and canine cosmetologists. You found the Traveling Groomers Podcast, where we discuss lessons learned from mobile and house call grooming. I'm one of your hosts, Chris Bear Anthony. Any moment now, we'll be joined by my co-host and friend, retired mobile groomer and educator extraordinaire, Mary Oquendo, and very likely a special guest to help us chat about all things grooming, grooming industry related, and just plain fun digressions that I will totally wrangle back to topic. Grab those travel mugs and climb aboard to see where today's topic will bring us. Let's roll!
Okay, so we have a special guest today, and that is the one and only Quincy Cole. And Quincy, you could see why I tell people it's not that difficult to do a podcast, and not to worry about it being a little less than you think it being professional, because this podcast, okay, and along with Women Petpreneurs, which is even less edited than this one, okay, has been nominated several times for Barkley Honors. Just saying.
Listen, I can fix it in post. That's all I'm saying. It's like Mary and I, for certain things, switch personalities. It's the weirdest thing. Because I'm just like, no, I've got to get it professional and correct, and it's got to be nice sounding. And yeah, which is why, because Angie Coates is amazing. We now have a video open and close because I watched one and I went, oh God. Oh God.
And see, and where I come from is that, you know what, podcasting should be accessible to anybody who wants to do it, and not let the little details stop you from sharing whatever message you have with the world.
Absolutely.
Not stopping me. I'm just very focused on, I don't know, whatever. Whatever. On that whatever note, Mary, do you know what time it is?
6:07 p.m.
No, it's not. It's 9:07 p.m. It's also
Or 7:07.
or 7:07. It's also time to welcome our listeners to episode number 243 of the Traveling Groomers Podcast, recorded on January 10th and will be airing on January 24th with our fabulous and wonderful special guest, Quincy Cole.
Okay, so you survived our opening. Welcome, Quincy.
Thank you.
Okay, so I wanted to start off with, and the reason we wanted you here is because you are now a trade show director.
Yeah. It's
Maybe-
crazy.
Maybe Chris will do some like special sound effects for that.
Yeah, I need like some air horns blowing for me.
Come on, Chris. Give her the air horns.
There you go.
You didn't hear anything.
No,
Well, trust me, everybody else did.
it was there. I believe it.
It was there. It was there. That's all I can say.
Okay, so you're the new owner of the Teton Trade Show,
Yes.
which is going to be actually held now in Salt Lake City.
Yes. Very excited to move it to Salt Lake City.
All right, is that region, I mean, is it still like reasonable to call it the Teton Show?
So technically where it was in Idaho wasn't near the Tetons either. So I've had people ask me about this, like, are you going to change it or whatever? No, I love the person who started the show. So it's sticking to the name she created. And really, if you search what a Teton is, it is a mountain range. And hello, Utah has mountains too. So we figure it works, and it's a cute name. We like it. So we're going to keep it. So
Okay, cool. All right, so you're well on the way to being a trade show director. So what has that been like?
oh, it's interesting. When it was offered to me, when they reached out to me saying they didn't want it anymore, I was like, yes, instantly, yes. And And then as it started building and all the things started coming at me, I'm like, oh my gosh,
What have
why
I
did I
done?
say yes to this? And I already know this because of working at trade shows. I already see the behind the scenes. I know how much goes into it. And I'm like, here I am, like one person trying to figure out all these things. And luckily now my association is helping with some things, but it's a lot to take on. But I'm really excited to be bringing education over to this side of the state since we don't really have a ton over here and keeping the show going. So it's definitely worth it.
Okay. Okay. So walk us a little bit through putting together the show.
Oh man. I mean, the first thing that I started with was picking multiple dates and a location because really I've like put this together in like 6-7 months time, which most trade shows get like a year or more. I mean, people who started out have way more, but people have been doing it forever, just reloop the same things. So I picked out a few dates and I started finding venues that would be pet friendly, and that's always fun, finding pet friendly venues. So I found a few that were crazy priced and some that were right in our range. And so I finally found a place. And as soon as I locked that in, I could give dates. So educators, attendees, vendors, and all that kind of had an idea. And then we started going through what we needed to set up the space, like what their measurements were, getting a floor plan going. When I took over, I updated the website. So doing all the back end work to clean the website up was a lot because it's definitely different styles of what the last owner was doing versus what I'm doing now. Reaching out to speakers, vendors, and then now we're like getting into like sponsorships and just finalizing our speakers and all that stuff. So it's just like it's a bunch of things all over the place.
It's a lot. And did you run into, like, were you trying to keep it around the same time? Because I know, as
Yes.
some of us may have found out with Chicago with the All American show and Super
Oh,
Zoo having
yeah.
some overlap, did you feel those constraints like, okay, you have to find a dog friendly venue and it's got to be one of these
Absolutely.
3 weekends or is something like
Mhm.
that couldn't have helped anything.
Yeah, it was really hard. In the weekend we wanted to do it, we found out our friends from Whitman's were opening a show the same weekend, and we didn't want to do that because we didn't want to be like, hey, even though we're on opposite sides, we didn't want to do that to like our vendors or educators or
Yeah.
anything to ever eventually be a pull. But also we wanted to work with Rocky Mountain Show. We wanted to make sure, since they are close to us, that there was enough space for the groomers if they want to be competing with the same dog, that they had distance between that.
Yes.
Because they have that between California, even some of the people up in Tacoma. We are a little close to Tacoma, but we pulled California, Utah, and Colorado shows, trying to make sure it gave them enough growth for their dog. But that definitely made it difficult. We almost even pushed it out to November and then played with like the thoughts of early November, like if that would be a possibility for people. But we landed on the dates, and then I've had a few people go, hey, that's Mother's Day, right? And I'm like, yep, it is. And guess what? I'm a mom to two. And guess where I'm going to be on Mother's Day? I'm going to be doing something I love on Mother's Day because I believe every mom should do whatever they love, and you don't always have to be with your kids on Mother's Day. So
Excellent answer to that. I was just told, and like I don't keep track of dates anymore because I don't have kids in school. So I don't know when any holidays are. I'm like,
yeah.
whatever. So I set for the pet tech instructor training, and starts Easter Sunday. And they're like, it's Easter Sunday. And I'm like, yeah, and
Yep. If you want to do it, you're going to do it. That's how I look at it. Like 2 years ago, I signed up for a backpacking trip. The weather was bad. The lady's like, these are the only dates we can do it. It was also on Mother's Day. So I spent my Mother's Day in the middle of a mountain with like 10 women I didn't know. And it was the best Mother's Day. So love my kids, but it was something I wanted to do. So always do something you want to do, even if it's a holiday, you'll live. We have multiple holidays every year.
Yes. And you know what? The mothers do so much and they're so amazing. And the thought that, oh, you can only really appreciate them on one day is a little backwards.
well, yeah,
appreciate them always.
Insulting, in my opinion.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Okay, so you got your date set, which is good. So what are the dates of the show?
So it is May 10th, 11th, and 12th.
Okay.
So it's education all 3 days and trade show the 11th and the 12th.
Okay, so Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Yep.
And not on my birthday.
I mean, hey, didn't we just say we can celebrate things on
Yes.
holidays and birthdays?
Yes.
Just teasing. I
The
love it.
only thing holiday, I actually only recognize with religious precision is my birthday.
Oh, mine's all months. So, I mean, you can celebrate me any day in October. It's okay. It's all month long.
Oh, this year I have decided mine is going to be all year
Oh, I love
because
that.
last year's was kind of weird because it was not just, I wasn't just at a trade show, it was like a travel day.
Oh, yeah, that's not too
So it
fun.
was the travel day. Like the only upside was that I got to have lunch with like Mary and the Hanvies. What
Oh,
it was,
nice.
Chris and Ashley, right? That we had lunch with.
Yeah, at
Yeah.
Teton.
Yes, at Teton. So like that
Nice.
was like the bright part. Like that was the only. So this year I'm deciding every trade show I'm gonna make an announcement on either the Traveling Groomers group, like which day. I'm gonna be like, okay, meet me at the hotel bar. We're at 6 o'clock. We're having birthday drinks for everybody. Like
I'm in. I'm
And
in.
I'll tell you, the only thing I will miss is that at the Teton show where it was held, there's some really fabulous restaurants right there.
Yep, that's
oh,
the only part where we're at. But the restaurant that is inside of the hotel is so I went in and they sat me down and they gave me like little samples of everything. For it being a hotel, the food in it is amazing. And to downtown, you're only like 5 minutes away from downtown Salt Lake, and they do have shuttles and stuff that get you out there too. So the
Okay.
food in downtown Salt Lake, I guarantee you will be more amazed than Idaho.
Good.
Yeah.
okay. I can see
Downtown
that.
has a lot of stuff. So
There was one Thai restaurant I think we ate at every night last year.
heck yeah.
That will be missed, but that's okay. It's still
I mean, you
fantastic.
can drive the 3 hours to it if you
It's
want.
not, you know what?
You know what? The food
Not
wasn't that
that
good.
fantastic. Like it was
Not three
good,
hours good. Okay.
but
Not,
I
not
don't,
three,
I
not
don't,
3 hours one way now.
after working a trade show, almost nothing is 3 hours drive for food good. Really
It's so
gonna
true.
say. But
See, I just think everything is hotel lobby food and I'm good. I'll just walk, grab something and go crawl in my bed and I'm good.
since discovering DoorDash, that has been
Yes.
a life changer because there's
Yeah.
at least one night where Team Evolution will like crawl back to the hotel and we're like, we're just going to order food, right? We can get something different for everybody if we want to, right? Let's just order food and eat it in our jammies.
That sounds the best way to be.
All right. So it is time for our first commercial break. After these messages, we'll be right back. And speaking of continuing education, because we either were or will be, join the Andis World Class Education Team each month for live interactive virtual classes. You'll learn new and trending styles, as well as tips and tricks from some of the best groomers in the industry. Whether you're looking for basic skills, trending styles, advanced techniques, or even just ways to spark your creativity, the new Andis Grooming Education site is your source for finding what you need to create your way for success. Try new techniques, learn from the pros, and grow your confidence today at andis.com/groomer education. Traveling Groomer Podcast listeners, hey, that's you, can get 25% off your first course today with the code VEGROOMING at checkout on andis.com/groomer education.
Okay, there she goes.
I was trying not to be Darth Vader because I realized I can't mute myself to cover the coughing and I can edit the audio in the audio version.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to do 2 full edits. Like it's theoretically possible for me to do it for the video, but that's not, no.
Okay. Okay.
No, even my perfection draws a line.
All right. So, and I know by the time this airs, you'll have your speaker lineup set and done. But
Yes.
do you have anyone confirmed yet?
Nope. I mean, we have ours confirmed and we already know the people that we're extending it to. That we would be surprised if they didn't confirm. But since I brought on the association, they just wanted to go over the application. So we're doing that on Friday and picking. So, I mean, I guess I know one who is, I guess I could say is confirmed if that's what you're wanting, like one name drop. Is that what you're looking for?
Sure. Let's do a name drop.
Okay. Melissa Jepson is for sure one of our speakers at Teton. We don't know exactly which class of hers yet, but I think her, like the handling class that she does is amazing. And I think a lot of groomers need to be brought back to some of those basics of just working with the dog better and understanding them and not forcing them. But I don't think every groomer does that. But I think, a refresh is always great. And I think Melissa's class is really great for those who are learning or even further in. So she will for sure be there.
I'm very tempted to name drop somebody else who's like, I feel like there's a 90% chance they're going to be there, but I don't want to assume.
I mean, I can tell you some vendors who are going to be there.
Okay,
Oh yeah.
I'll do our first one for sure, because she is an original from the start of Teton. It is Total Canine Connection for sure is going to be there. They literally supported this from day one when Gabby started it. She was there last year, and I felt like an integral part to keep on, because there are people who have just supported and loved the show from the beginning. So those are the people that I'm like, yes, you got to be here. And their customer service, everything, they get stuff out to their groomers so fast. Like one time I needed something, and I mean, Heather like drop shipped it that night. Like they're just so great to work with. And then our second vendor who signed up, I mean, I listed it and they were right on it, was Vanity Fur. Jessica and her stuff. So I'm really excited, because I keep telling her, Teton, I want one in green, and it always gets taken. So we're holding one for me this year when she comes so I can get it. I'm so stoked to finally try her stuff. So there's 2 of 8 of our confirmed vendors. So
okay. And I'm gonna poke Evolution Shears, because I know
I'm waiting.
that they enjoyed the Teton show.
I know.
And I know they've spoken well of Salt Lake City. So
you guys are gonna love Salt Lake City. And I can tell anybody places to eat, places to go. I mean, I'm 36, I've been here my whole life, but I love Salt Lake. So like if you like hiking, games, sports, like bars, whatever, certain types of food, we got you.
Okay.
So exciting.
Yeah.
All right. So you had the challenges with, a window to get pet-friendly places. Okay.
Yes.
So some of the other issues now, because here's the thing, there's a lot of things that I would like to do in my life, but what is not on the list is to be a trade show director.
What? Come on.
Oh,
it was never on mine, to be really honest. And then it showed up.
No, those of those know you, okay, knew this was on your list. Whether or not,
I don't think it was on my list.
I don't think you knew it was on your list.
But I think I definitely have the personality for it. I can give myself that, but.
Oh, no. I always knew that at some point you were going to run a trade show. So, but not me. So what are some of the challenges that you were finding with putting together a trade show?
I mean, balancing it all out and matching the space, like whatever space we were able to find, limited how many vendors we could have or where the classrooms could be, like, and they don't understand our industry. So that was really interesting too. So like having to explain to everybody, and a lot of them got so excited because they're like, oh, dogs. And I'm like, okay, but you don't understand like what's coming with those dogs. Like there is mess with those dogs. Like we all see the competition ring when it's getting cleaned up before everything. Like there is a mess, all the behind the scenes, these people don't see that. I felt I had to be so transparent with them. And then when they heard how many dogs were coming, like some were like, oh, that's too many. Like if they damage our space. So like that was, I think, my biggest thing. Our current vending space, their facility is really beautiful, but they have the most gorgeous ballroom with the most beautiful lights. And I'm like, open windows, and I'm like, wouldn't this be so perfect for it? Would not fit probably more than like 10 vendors in it though. So like it's kind of like balancing it out. So I had to take their 3 ballrooms, which I wanted as the classrooms, and I had to like rearrange and all that stuff. So it's just like finding how to lay it out. And I know totally too, I'm human. So when we get there, something's going to be missing or not right and all that stuff. So it's going to just be a constant, you just have to be able to adapt, which I think that's something I'm pretty good at adapting at. For anyone who's seen me running around for Barkley doing all the dog stuff, I'm pretty good at adapting or fixing situations
Mhm.
and mulling it over for people. So yeah.
You know what? That's a given. And I think sometimes people they don't want to do something because they don't have all the ducks in a row and everything is not perfect. But really, the bottom line is there's gonna be a problem.
Oh yeah. Always.
There's gonna be a problem. You don't know what that problem is until the problem actually happens. And maybe you can prep for, if this happens, I can do this. But you know what? You may not be able to. It may be like, wow, I'm gonna have to write that problem down because I've never heard of it before.
Yep. Exactly.
And coming up with a solution like right now to fix something.
Yep.
I would say anyone who's going to a trade show, give the trade show directors a little bit of grace.
And their staff, honestly.
And their staff a little bit of grace. Okay.
Yeah. It's true. At all trade shows, any trade show you go to, I don't think one trade show has ever run 100% perfect. And if they have, bravo.
We need to take
that if that actually happened, because it probably will never happen again. But go ahead, Chris.
Yep. We need to take a couple of the chocolates that we're giving to our flight attendants, for those of us who travel to the trade shows. Just take a couple, keep a couple. If everyone just slid the people running it a couple pieces of candy, they might have enough of a chocolate stash to make it through the trade show.
I mean, I love chocolate, so I'm not opposed to that.
Just saying, this is the heart of Utah, so I'm not going to advocate alcohol. So chocolate.
Oh, you totally can advocate alcohol in Utah. It's getting better here. They're so much better. Our liquor is way lower still. And you can only have one drink at a time. But
I heard that.
Yeah, like if you have a beer in front of you and they bring you a new one, normally you can have two. They have to remove it before they can place it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So there's like that. So you just got to chug it and then get your new one.
Okay. That's my point. Like, I understand theoretically that the point is to discourage drunkenness.
Yeah.
But it's just going to make me drink faster, therefore get drunk faster. So
it's true. Oh, and people at the bars just shoot them. Like you see, it doesn't do anything.
That's terrifying. That's terrifying.
Welcome to Utah, guys. We have drinking laws that are fun.
Okay, so maybe you do a live stream on the culture of Salt Lake City.
Oh, I know, right?
Ooh.
Chris can share. Chris and I have talked about this. She knows stuff. It's very interesting state.
I know stuff. I'm very interested, partially because my husband is fascinated by history of everything. And he's like, well, this and that. And I'm like, okay, I understand coffee. I understand alcohol, but the coffee. And anyway, it's time to hit a button before we go down that particular rabbit hole.
It's a big rabbit hole.
And speaking of continuing education, because we either were or will be, join the Andis World.
You're muted.
Because we just did that one, because I hit the wrong button, because I got all excited. So I just figured out how to mute that. Listen, I've been using this soundboard for well over a year. And recently my brain has started frying with not hitting the correct buttons. This is a perfect example of everything can go right, but something's going to go wrong. It's something you've done 1,000 times can go wrong this time.
It's all good.
It just is. So I'll give that another minute. There we go. Because this was the button I was supposed to hit. Mary. What if I told you you could have a year's worth of online education for less than the cost of one in-person trade show? That's right. For only $97 a month, you have access to a different 2-day educational conference with 10 hours of material taught by the best in the industry. Every month has a new theme that includes anything from grooming skills to business and everything in between. Can't catch it live or just want to rewatch it? Recordings are available for 6 weeks with closed captioning for both live and recordings with transcripts. What are you waiting for? Grab your membership today at positiveed.com. I have all these scissors, but I have nothing to cut the thing for a cough drop so I don't make a loud crinkle noise.
Okay.
It's fine. Everything's fine.
All right. So what is the overall education plan you have for the show?
Like what type of classes are we going to
What
have?
kind of classes?
I mean, I honestly feel like we're touching everything. We have classes for beginners to advanced. We have a cat class that's going to be happening, possibly 2 cat classes, which I'm excited about, all the way up to like even working with like senior pets, like the geriatric pets. We have a hand stripping one that we're extending an offer to. What was this person? I'm not familiar with them, but they submitted one, and the course that they presented was really interesting, and it was to be more intuitive with the pet and everything, like a deeper connection and stuff, which is like something I feel like Mary would absolutely love. Definitely more on the holistic side. So we have holistic classes, and then we actually have a good amount of creative. When I was reading over some of the reviews from the past 2 years, a lot of people wish there was more of creative, from just simple creative to like extreme creative. And we were lucky enough to have 3 creative people that are pretty big in our industry reach out. And so we are going over their classes and figuring out if we are going to take all 3 of them or if we're going to lock it down to just like 2 of them. But I think that's what I'm excited about, because that was like one of our biggest feedbacks, is a lot of people want to jump into that, but don't know how to even start and do it safely. So, and there's a lot of safety stuff too in your salons.
I'm very excited about the multiple cat classes, and I almost hope that it's more than one instructor, because I love so many of our wonderful cat instructors out there. And I know there's different ways to do different things.
Yes.
And to me, it's so important to be exposed to the different ways to do different things. That kind of goes back to our discussion on culture. I want to know all the different ways people do different things, whether that is how they live their life and their, religious practices, to how they groom their cats. Like,
yes,
I want to know all of the things. So it's really, I think, valuable. And I don't see it as competition, because I think you need to take both, because you can definitely learn something from everyone.
Absolutely. And anyone who thinks it's competition, that's just silly. I mean, I know you guys know, and some of you watching may know, like, I do social media classes. My friend Meg does social media classes. And now my friend Lauren does social media. And we're all like, how can we like help you and put you in the right way? Like, even though we're in different areas and things, like we're all about pushing each other together and making it better. So if anyone ever feels like it's that way, it's never competition. We're all here to make our betters.
You should have a symposium with all 3 of you on how to do social media stuff, because everyone has different styles. Like, some things may not work for, some things you do may not work for me, or some things you do may work beautifully for me, but someone else, it might not,
Yep. Oh, I actually had that idea in mind with their stage. I have always wanted to do something like that. This space wouldn't work for it, but my future space, like, I've made my like 5 and 10 year plan with this show. There's a space in downtown Salt Lake, but what they offer is like, it's probably like closer to like a little under what Hershey size, a little.
Wow.
And they have the most amazing setup, all the stuff. And I'm like, their stage is the perfect thing for like a TED Talk type of stage where all the groomers could sit there and hear the advice from, like, so you would have like all the organizations up there of the different certifications, asking questions and giving their experience while someone's doing a hands-on. We don't have stuff like that here in the States. And I think that would just be amazing. But the facility we're at does not work for that. But that was one of my options. So, but it's there for future plans. And if anyone else takes it on now, I totally support it because I will still do it. I don't care.
You make a really good point, because I had a conversation with Lauren, and I love her stuff. I think it's funny. I think it's
she's hysterical.
okay. But can you imagine, Chris, if I did a video like Lauren did a video?
Yeah.
Would you like to have me committed or something?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I get it.
Okay.
I mean, we would laugh at it though. It'd be funny still.
Oh, it would be funny. It would just like not be me.
Yeah.
It would, yeah.
It is totally her personality. And I mean, her dancing videos, her and I have been talking because we are doing a little live chat on Monday just for fun. And we were saying we need to do a video. I'm like, but I can't dance like you. Like, I'm like the awkward dance mom in the background. That'd be like this, like hyping her up.
That would be funny.
Yeah, but that's about it. I could maybe do a little, but not her level, but she's great.
Nice.
Right.
Oh, the other question I had is, were you going to do any longer programs? Like, you know how some places have like not full day long, because it's not usually an 8-hour class, but they'll have their 2 and 4 hour classes on Thursday when the vendors are setting up. Were you thinking of doing anything like that?
So we have a couple of them that are long day ones. So we're just finagling them right now. And we've also just been told we might be able to get their final room that somebody had booked the same time as us. So if they do that, then that room would become all weekend. For the 3 days would be all day seminars down in that hall, where the other 2 rooms would just be the hour and a half classes. So, which we're pretty excited about. So we get to find that out tomorrow, and I can't wait. So that will block our final set before we do before we message all of our speakers on Friday to offer them a spot.
Nice.
Good.
Yes.
You know what? I'm excited for you guys. And I knew you guys are really tight in Utah.
Mm-hmm.
We definitely have a good community. I mean, like right now we're getting ready to do just like a little local groomers education weekend for our association. And I'm amazed at how many, we just put it out there. If you have something that you love in this industry, you feel strong about teaching, message us. And we had so many of them message us that we weren't even able to use all of them for our little 2-day, just like groomer hangout weekend. Like we're doing 2 classes side by side at 2 different locations each day. And I mean, all of the groomers are like so stoked and all that stuff. I can't lie. We have a really great community here, and I love seeing it growing even more. So
I have actually heard that about the Salt Lake area.
Yeah.
I really, that's the one thing I heard. And that's as much as I loved the area and I love the hotel where the Teton show started.
Yeah.
That's something that I heard time and time again, that, my God, the groomers in Salt Lake City, they're all about education. That would be a great place for a show.
Yep. Definitely all about education and supporting like one another. Like I live in a tiny little town, and there are 3 of us in we're 5 miles long. It's just a long strip of city. We have 1 street light, like stoplight. That's how small we are, in a gas station. We don't have like a grocery store, nothing. And there's 3 of us. One girl, literally, like I can see her house through my blinds on the other side of the road. Like we have like 5 houses between us. And we all literally, I send them business if they have questions. Like they ask me, because I'm like the senior groomer in our area and they're newer, but we're all about just like, hey, here's some dogs, or like, this is how I would do it, and all that stuff, which I've heard is not normal outside of Utah. Like
so important.
You have your little groups, but not everybody is supporting everybody.
Well, no, that's true. Not everybody is supporting everybody. And I think it depends also on your area and somebody willing to spearhead it.
Yep. I think that helps too.
Somebody willing to say, hey, listen, you're coming to the groomer lunch in 2 weeks.
Yep.
Be there. Yep. Okay.
See, and that's how most of our groomers are. Like one of my dear friends who convinced me to go in home 12 years ago is a manager for Petco now. She's like, her kids are my age. She's getting ready to retire. One of her groomers there, she literally called me. She said, I'm sending this girl to your education weekend. This is her name. This is her number. And you're going to be her friend. And I'm like, okay, here we go. Like, great. Don't even know, but I'm meeting a new friend in 2 weeks that grooms at the old store I opened. So it's all about, yeah, I think you're right. It's someone who will spearhead it and make people feel welcome and wanted in the community.
Yeah, I think that's really important. I remember being in Connecticut, And when I first started, I was like the only mobile groomer. And the next thing I know, I got a whole bunch of mobile groomers. Okay. Which was fun. Okay. Because you know what? I don't want to groom every single dog. All right. And there were dogs I didn't want to groom. There were breeds I didn't want to. Okay. And unlike a lot of groomers, I really don't care for grooming puppies.
I love
I,
puppies.
you know, I really, that was not my thing. You know
Would
what?
you rather groom a puppy or a cocker spaniel? Like not a nice cocker spaniel that we see at the shows, like Mackenzie's Chance, not him,
Puppy.
but it's a puppy or a backyard bred cocker spaniel
Puppy.
that is yeasty.
Really?
Which would you pick?
Okay, but here's the thing.
Puppy. Can I say puppy 5 more times?
Okay, but here's the thing, right? I'm my own boss. I could say no to both.
No, you don't get to say no. You
That's
have
not
to
what
choose
she
one or the other.
asked. This is a
You have
kiss,
to
marry,
pick.
kill situation.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Okay, I'll do the puppy.
good. Okay. I just had to see which was worse. To my clients who might see this, I still love your cocker puppies. I promise.
Okay,
I do.
but see, but I would much rather do the older dogs. Give me the 14-year-old
Really?
that the shop doesn't want to do more.
I
Okay?
love that.
So, and it was nice when you have a community in which you can talk with other groomers. First of all, you find out what everybody likes to do,
Yes.
what they don't like to do. All right. So yeah, if someone's calling me with a puppy, I'm sending them over to that shop over there.
Yeah.
But you know what? That shop is sending me the 12, 13, 14-year-old dogs. They are no longer comfortable grooming.
Yeah.
So that puppy's yours in like 12 years.
Yes.
So
You get them back.
12 years.
It's full circle.
You get them
Yes.
back.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I completely lost track of time, and I'm very positive it's time to hit another button.
Yep.
As a house call groomer, the idea of van and generator maintenance had kept me out of one for years. But Hanvey Engineering and Design has been making mobile grooming vans for 20 years now and has thought of that. No generator to maintain, repair, and replace. No propane to fill or worry about running out in the middle of winter. Hanvey vans have the lowest operating costs out there. I know I'm sold, but check out their latest innovations for yourself at hanvey.com.
Okay. Generally speaking, what is Salt Lake City? What's the weather like on Mother's Day?
Oh, yeah. I need to know. I might need to pack.
I mean, last year, not gonna lie, we still had snow, but we also had the longest snow we've ever had. Like, it would stop and come back and stop and come back. That's like never in my whole life that I have lived here had it been that long. But normally we're coming into spring. It's more like Teton, like the first year, but like a little bit warmer. We're always a little bit warmer than Idaho. So if you survive Teton the last 2 years, we are warmer than that. So,
Well, you know, first year for Teton, it was the middle of the summer. It was hot.
oh, we're hotter than that.
Oof.
And the only reason that it really sticks to my mind is because I was driving and a piece of asphalt kicked up on the other side of the road, hit my windshield, and like melted on my windshield.
Oh, that doesn't surprise me.
Okay. Oh, yeah.
What?
It gets hot for sure.
Did you just say a piece of asphalt melted on your windshield?
about?
Okay, that's not fit for life.
But that's July months. We're not there. We're in like spring. So we couldn't have a little rain. It's gonna be like warmer, probably like 60s, 70s.
Okay,
So
that's
not too
Okay.
bad.
Okay.
Yeah, that's not bad at all. I mean, you might get like there's times in spring that we actually see most of our seasons. We'll see it like raining outside, then it turns into snow, and then all of a sudden the snow is gone and the sun shines out. Like
So you get 4 seasons in a day.
yeah, so
kinda
we
thing.
joke like, yeah, because you'll like bundle up to go out in the morning because it's cold, and then by the end of the day, your like layers are off and it looks like it's summertime. Like,
And
it's
then
a
if you
little
stay
bipolar.
out too late, then all your layers go back on.
Exactly.
Okay.
So you make sure you bring a jacket just in case, but it should be really nice.
okay. Good to know.
Excellent.
All right, so I know so you guys have a thing with not having coffee, correct?
So there is coffee everywhere, Starbucks, Beans and Brews, cute little coffee shops. It's So Utah's known for Mormons. They like to be called Latter-day Saints. So LDS is what people will hear too, but they like to be referred to as Latter-day Saints. And it's just a really heavy religion that's out here, and they don't drink coffee. But I mean, one of my friends is and owns a Beans and Brews. Like, they don't drink coffee, but they own a Beans and Brew. So I know, really funny.
The Gentiles will buy the coffee. It's fine.
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
fine.
So yeah, so there is coffee, there is drinks everywhere, but yeah, like if you're part of that religion, they do like advise you not to drink coffee.
All right, because generally speaking, if I'm traveling, I'm coming with my own tea.
Oh yeah, you'll be good. Well, and here's something unique about Utah. So we have a ton of soda shops.
Ooh.
Like everywhere. So people joke because Mormons don't drink coffee, but they drink a ton of caffeine, which they're also not supposed to have. So it kind of doesn't make sense. But we have soda shops everywhere. Like the town that I grew up in, it's not a big town either. There are 4 soda shops there right now. We have a Dutch Bros, this thing called Fizz, a thing called So Delicious, and Twisted Sugar. Like you go in, they have like these big gourmet cookies you get. You can make any type of drinks with monsters mixed in them. Like you can do a dirty Coke, which is not, you would think, alcohol, but it's not.
Is it?
None of
Is
their
it
drinks
espresso?
are alcoholic.
What's in a
No.
dirty? What's in a dirty
A
Coke
dirty
now?
Coke is a Coke and coconut in it. Coconut
Stop.
flavoring in it. Yeah. So they don't have that, but I'm sure you guys have seen like those Stanley mugs that everybody's talking about. This.
It's a large
This
mug.
is from Utah. This is Utah.
Uh-huh.
And the drink places literally make their like logos on them, and you will see like they call them Utah moms. It's not me being mean. They're all over YouTube, and people make fun of videos. But I mean, I could be made fun of because I'm a mom in Utah who's a Stanley. But they all show up to the drinks to get fizz, and they put like their Cokes in there like multiple times a day. Like it's a real thing. So you might see that downtown doesn't have them as much, but all the little communities, multiple drink shops and cookie shops.
And Dutch Brothers has coffee too.
Dutch Brothers does have coffee. They're the only one who does. Yep.
I was gonna say I actually got to go to a Dutch Brothers at the Colorado show last year.
Yeah.
And
so they do have coffee, and it's pretty good.
But all their other drinks, it did seem amazing. I may have
sugary upon sugary drinks
with caffeine that you're not supposed to have, but it's not coffee or tea, so
it's okay.
So it's okay.
Yeah, I don't understand it.
It's called the letter, not the spirit of the law.
Yeah. I grew up in it and I don't understand it, so it doesn't make any sense to me. So, but I don't like the taste of coffee, so I don't drink it. But my refreshers from Starbucks apparently have green tea in it, which I'm not supposed to have if I were still Mormon, but I drink it. It's all good. As Mary drinks hers, that tea.
Well, here's the thing, right? So I have a subscription to Plum Deluxe. So every month I get 2 blends. They're blends. So it's not just different types of black teas. It's got all sorts of stuff in it.
Cool.
Most of them I like. I mean, I'm not crazy like with chais and stuff of that nature. And I'm also not.
That's what I'm drinking. That's what this is.
Okay, so you know what? I will save my chais that I get, and I will bring them to the show because they're not my favorite.
I'll take them.
But I'll drink almost any kind of black tea. Okay. I also have a really good tea shop in town.
Except Earl Grey, because you're a weirdo.
Oh God, please do not give me Earl Grey.
Because you're a weirdo.
I don't like Earl Grey either.
Oh, it's gross.
Weirdos.
Yeah,
okay.
Sorry.
Chai's
Chai's the only one I really love. So
no, Earl Grey is gross.
I would agree.
Okay.
Listen.
Sorry, Chris.
I know I'm outnumbered, but you're both wrong.
No, it's gross.
Take a poll in the comments. Who is right? Mary, Quincy, or Chris?
Though, you know what? We should. We should have a poll in the comments, and I will be proved correct. And those who don't, just, you know.
Hold on. No, we're going to do a poll right now.
Oh my gosh, yes.
No. Oh, yeah, but we've technically only got like 10, 15 more minutes, even though we're.
No. We're having.
She's going to do it while we're chatting.
She's going to do it while we're chatting.
A discussion on the Traveling Groomers Podcast. Earl Grey tea is gross. Earl Grey tea is
Listen.
Are you going to do one on yours?
yes.
No, I'm just going to vote. What is it?
No, I can't do a poll on a profile unless I don't think they can in it. No polls, but you know what? People can answer yes or no. We're having a discussion on the Traveling Groomers Podcast. Earl Grey tea is gross. Do you agree?
No, do Earl Grey or verse chai.
Oh, but see, I also love chai.
Or
Okay, then it's gross.
I also love chai. Are you doing this on the Traveling Groomers page or on your profile?
I did it on my profile.
Nice.
We'll see. We still got 15 minutes. We'll see if we get any feedback before it ends. We're having a discussion on the Traveling Groomers Podcast.
Do you agree or are you wrong? Oh, that's not biased at all, Mary.
I'm gonna go vote.
Go vote, Quincy.
You do it on the Traveling Podcast?
No, do it on my personal profile.
Okay, Mary.
Anyway, but we digress. Good Lord.
Okay, so we have time for the next commercial?
We do. Okay. And I just want to say,
yes.
You know, you can be a tea snob, but you don't have to yuck on someone else's yum.
True. But it's fun. All in fun.
Sometimes fun. I'm going to hit a button now.
Go ahead.
Because it makes me feel like I got the last word, even when I know I didn't. I've been swiveling for years now with my evolution shears, but I wasn't actually born with a pair of swivel shears in my hands. Check out our website and Facebook page for our library of how-to videos, or give me a shout for a personalized guide. Your hands will thank you. Don't forget, Traveling Groomers Podcast listeners get $10 off and free shipping with the code ONTHEROAD, all one word. What are you waiting for? Give them a try today. I actually also had tea in my mug.
That's awesome. It was tea night.
Okay, so all right. So are there any good tea shops in Utah, in Salt Lake City where the show is?
I wouldn't know because I only drink chai tea and I make it at home. So, but I know people who do know. I know a couple people who are tea people, so I can get that for you and give you a list.
Okay. Good to know.
Yeah, I'll get you tea. See, I said if I don't know it, I know someone who's going to know it, and I'll find it for you.
All right. So, you excited about the show?
Yeah, I was very nervous at first. I think like I was excited. And then when it all hit me, I was like I told you guys, like, oh crap, what did I just do? But like, I'm definitely now that like things are falling into place and more things are being added and stuff like that. Relief feeling is there that I'm like, okay, now this is going to be fun. And I have some really cool ideas that I'm very excited to see if they'll work out and pan out that we're going to be going over and just trying to do things a little different, not fully different. I want it to be like a normal trade show, but maybe add something a little different in for groomers too, to make it stand out, I guess. So I'm feeling pretty excited about it. Nice. Yeah.
You have checklists?
Oh yeah. I mean, literally my backpack and my computer and my notebooks. I have a notebook for everything. Teton has its whole thing. Like my business has its whole thing. My social has its whole thing. Like it goes everywhere. And I make lists daily. And I'm like the person who writes out lists because I think if you write it out, it's so much nicer and better. And and if it didn't get done, I add it to the next day.
Something about drawing a line through it. It's just so I will, because I'm not quite the list person Mary is, because when I make lists, I always overbook myself. Always.
Oh, same.
Okay,
I put
Chris. All right. So far, this is the best response. I once had a barista tell me they were out of English breakfast and would I be okay with Earl Grey instead? I just stared at her. No, I would not be okay with Earl Grey instead. If I wanted a cup of hot flower water, I had an ask for a cup of hot flower water.
All tea is hot flower water. All tea is hot flower water.
That's amazing.
Listen, Jean-Luc Picard and I believe. that Earl
Oh.
Grey is a superior tea. I'm just saying.
Okay.
That's amazing.
Anywho, I had a work-related thought and it's gone. It's driven from my head by the continual attacks against Earl Grey. Just saying. Just saying. So, is the venue a hotel? Like, is there?
It is a hotel.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Okay.
And they have, so the hotel has a really nice bar area. They have a nice restaurant area. They have an indoor pool for the people who like to get into the pool and hot tub. And then they have a very beautiful patio with like twinkle lights. I'm a big sucker for
Ooh.
twinkle lights. So I was
Oh,
really
yeah.
excited when I saw that. That looks out to like a little man-made lake that they have on the back end, like not far, but like a little pond that's on the back. So it'll have like a nice outside seating area too, for if it's warmer at night and everything to sit out there, or during the daytime too. So
Yep. I'm very excited that there's an indoor pool and hot tub because it is one of my trade show hobbies that my swimsuit lives in my suitcase
it never comes out.
and never comes out because about 90% of the time we don't even get to use it at the trade shows that I
Have
take
you
it
ever?
for. Yeah, I have.
I finally did for my first time. And I packed, my mother taught me you always pack a swimsuit,
Mhm.
even if where you're going doesn't have a pool, you have a swimsuit. And I literally, even my kids know that rule now. And I've packed it for the two full last show seasons, never used it except in Florida. There were some groomers who said they were going to go swim. Nobody showed up except me. So I was like, well, I'm going to swim. It was
Yeah.
a day and I want to swim. And cute Nadia Bongelli had been swimming. And she's like, I'm going to go with you. And her and I jumped in the pool multiple times and a few other people joined us. And it was actually pretty cool. Will I ever probably use my swimsuit again? Probably not. But it was fun for one time.
You know,
I've swum at a couple different shows.
so I also pack my swimsuit, rarely get into the pool. Beth and I were traveling because when we were going and teaching the first aid classes at Atlanta, originally before they bought their own dogs, we were driving back and forth with the dogs and we'd be stopping off at hotels. So we finally stop off at a hotel and it's been like, we're going swimming for like 3 years, right?
Yeah.
And then Beth goes, I'm going swimming. It's a thunderstorm is about to hit. Okay.
My gosh.
And yeah. She went swimming. Okay. Because she was going to go swimming. Damn, she had this bathing suit in her suitcase for the last 3 years. She was going to go swimming. And if she got electrocuted doing it, oh, well, she got to use her bathing suit.
Yes. There you go.
Actually, there are two shows that I'm very likely to swim at. And one is Vegas, for reasons that we won't get into right now. We often plan a pool day where we just veg.
Nice.
But the other is actually Pasadena coming up because the hotels pretty much all have pools there, but they're outdoor pools because it's California. And it boggles my East Coast brain that I can be swimming in an outdoor heated but outdoor pool in February. I have been kicked out of the pool because they're like, the pool's closed. And I'm like, I can't hear you. My ears are under the water. What?
Right. Maybe I'll see you in Pasadena at the pool then. Because that's when I told myself maybe I would try. So
that sounds like a plan. They all have nice pools.
Good.
All right, we got one more commercial, don't we, Chris?
Yes. And I forget what year it was, like 2 years ago in Pasadena, 1 or 2 years ago. Our room was on the pool level.
Oh, that's nice.
With a little balcony. We literally walked out of our balcony window, like hopped the little fence and like got in the pool. But yes.
Oh, I would do that.
We have our last commercial and then we'll be right back. I love being a house call groomer, but I hate doing laundry or worrying about asking my clients for fresh towels. Raypet has solved those problems for me with the Wet Pet disposable towel, taking up much less space than traditional cotton towels and easy to wring out and reuse. These super soft, comfy, absorbent towels eliminate any cross-contamination concerns between pets. And now their new smaller washcloth size Can even help those sensitive eye areas. Great for cleaning out wrinkles gently and thoroughly. Need to keep water bowls for your clients on hand that are easy to disinfect, but hate all the room traditional clanky metal bowls take up? Or just have a very active pet? Their collapsible silicone bowl comes with an aluminum D-ring hook that can be attached to your pet's leash or anywhere else in your van for easy storage. You can get one by itself or in their handy travel kit, along with a set of 3 tick removers and 1 small wet pet towel. So stop by their website to check it out, raypet.net, and tell them the Traveling Groomers sent you.
Okay, so there's about probably equal number of people who are saying that they love Earl Grey.
You know what it is? It's the bergamot.
Bergamot.
It's the bergamot. And I will say I did pick up because I saw once it was a double bergamot Earl Grey. And I went, oh, I'll try this. I like Earl Grey. I thought I liked the bergamot. Let me get this double bergamot. It was a no. It was
Okay.
big no. So I'm like, okay, if you don't like the bergamot even a little, you're gonna. But lavender added to that. D&T has a blend called Underdark and Chill, which is their Earl Grey that's got lavender and some other things in it. And that's just my favorite Earl Grey ever. But no, if you can't do the bergamot, it's not going to be a thing for you.
Yeah. No.
Yeah.
A very firm dividing line. It's okay. It's all right. We're fine.
Oh.
So Quincy, after the show and after you're able to decompress, are you going to come on at some point and go, okay, here's what we're going to do different. Here's what we learned.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
I'll totally. I think it's nice that people kind of get to see what goes on behind the scenes because like I said earlier, I don't think people know. Like I have no problem.
No.
And I love feedback. I'm someone who thinks feedback is a good thing, whether it's positive or not. You have to figure out what works and what doesn't. So I'm all
Absolutely.
for like I love like I already like one of the first things I actually did before I did my vendor forms or my speaker forms, I actually did a show and speaker evaluation first because I felt those are the most important. I know for me as a speaker, I love getting feedback like to see what people thought of my classes, but I also want to know what people thought about the show. And I know like other shows have like how was the show rate us, but like I want like, hey, I want this or that, and I have it all
Yes.
digital so people can do it on their own time. They don't have to fill out the paper form and give it back to me and all that. Like,
That's
yeah,
right. Last year they did all the QR codes on everything.
Yep. So yeah, so I'm like, I have that all set. Like that was one of the first things. So yeah, I'm totally open to tell you all the things that worked or didn't, or you guys can tell me the things that didn't work.
Well,
You know
one
what?
of the
Go ahead,
one of the
Chris.
reasons I like having trade show directors on is I feel like it gets feedback is good, but people don't know what work it is. They don't know what goes on. So there's a fine line between constructive criticism and just ripping people to shreds for no apparent reason. Like, because you don't know what's happening. You don't know the behind the scenes or why things are a certain way. So
Exactly.
I want people to know some of the stuff that goes on.
Absolutely.
Yeah, there's so much value in feedback. Okay. And it's right. There's constructive feedback, and there's someone just having a bad day, taking it out on you.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Chris still remember one of Chris's feedback was when she's in a cast with a scooter, and somebody complained because
That I couldn't get on the stage
couldn't
because
get
I
on the
was in a
stage.
wheelchair.
She was in a wheelchair.
Man, I didn't see that one.
That one wasn't for Teton. Although that's not the one that's going to stick with me. The one that And this is why I think there's a fine line between constructive, because this was for a class years and years ago. And I knew there were problems. Like, I'll go into it later. I knew there were issues, like off the air. And the one line that will stick with me the rest of my life, and that actually improved, I feel, all my other classes. And it was, what did you like best? And it was that it was only an hour. And I went, yeah, that was fair. That was a body blow, but okay. Okay.
Isn't it amazing though?
Changes.
I think sometimes we see the ones that we get are negative, and we like, I'll see so many educators that they focus on that one negative, and it ruins like the sea of all the positive things. Like, someone came to my class in Texas and I got one middle review, and it was, I already know this stuff. But it literally says this is an intro to learning about social media. Like, it says it in the description, and I see it on tons of educators things. Like, they'll say what they're doing and people are like, well, I already knew this. I'm like, but if you read their description, you knew that's what you were coming to learn. So it's so funny. Or people will complain about how hot or cold it is, or the chairs were uncomfortable. And I'm like, you can't fix that.
At least I have seen a lot of that. But at least when I see that, it'll be not the presenter's fault, but the rooms were freezing. It was too dark. We couldn't, not the presenter's fault, but and that
people are being aware.
Yes, that I don't mind so much, because I know the showrunners are seeing that and they're like, okay, well, we need to improve XYZ for next year.
Yeah. True.
But you know what? Sometimes we learn really good things from the feedback, right? So
absolutely.
Any of the classes, especially the first aid classes that I teach, you don't get your certificate unless you give me the evaluation. I hold it hostage. Okay. Good. Because I want all the reviews, because then I get a much better feel rather than 6 or 7 when I have everybody's there.
Absolutely.
But one of the reviews that we had early on was, this class was great. It would be better with a dog. And then that's when Ricky, my golden retriever, started to come to classes with us.
Oh, I love that.
And then after, Ricky, Spirit was, the first aid demo dog. I don't have a demo dog. None of my current dogs are candidates.
Yeah.
So you're telling
me, would you just have them, like, do they come fill on the dog, like all the spots then? Because obviously you're not going to do you could do the tie and stuff, but you don't do like no. Okay.
They can come and they could feel a pulse. What they really are ambassadors.
I love that.
So they walk around the classroom, people pet them, they could feel their pulse. That's really what they're there for. Okay.
That's awesome.
But I know what you're going to say, Chris. No, Pooh Bear, not a candidate for bringing to a pet first aid class. It'd be funny, but it would not be suitable.
He would be mad that people were coming near mommy.
Yes, he would be very mad. All right, because and why are you touching me? I did not give you permission. Boundaries, people, boundaries. Yeah, that would be Pooh Bear. So
I have to admit that the best thing about having a dog at a pet first aid class is feeling the pulse.
Yeah.
That's something.
True. I've never been in one where there's been a real one. I came home and felt it on my own, and it took forever. So that would be really cool to have one in class.
Yeah, because it takes forever, but once you find out where it is, you can just go, and you're like, it's there. But it takes a minute to finagle it.
It's like riding a bike. It's a skill. You learn it, and then after you've learned where it is and how to feel for it, it becomes second nature. We do try to get like someone else's demo dog to come up. A lot of times people bring their dogs into the classroom, and so we'll use them if they're suitable for it. But again, not every dog is really suitable to have 50 people touching them.
Yeah.
Especially like the femoral artery check. Like, it's basically 50 people sticking their hand between your legs, feeling around in your crotch without even buying you dinner or a milk bone or nothing. just pew, up in there.
Yeah, again, you know what? Both Spirit and Ricky, they live for that.
That's so cool.
Ricky would literally assume the position when it came time for that. He would just lay on the ground and the leg would go up.
He was there for it.
I'm just imagining like I'm just imagining Ricky being like, hey, you can feel my femoral artery. Is that a poodle over there? They can really feel my femoral artery.
Dog. Quincy, this golden had a thing for standard poodles.
Oh, I love that.
He wanted to be a doodle daddy so bad.
He really did. He really did.
Bad.
The standard poodles at the show would like turn their nose up at him, but that never stopped him. He was such a guy.
Yeah.
Such a guy when it came to standard poodles. Like, hey, my name is Ricky. What's yours? Get snubbed. Move on to the next one. Hey, my name is Ricky. What's yours? Okay. We were in H. Backer show. All right. And Sue Zecco. So they had the little, I guess, cardboard offices, you know, the ones that you just like tip over.
Yeah.
And Sue Zecco, I'm in there with Ricky, right? And Sue Zecco walks in with 4 of her standard poodles. And Ricky's like, oh my God, there's 4 standard poodles right there. Oh, and the standard poodles who already knew Ricky, okay, smushed Sue up against the wall to get away from Ricky. I thought the whole thing was just going to topple over.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Just like pinned against the wall.
That would have been amazing to see.
Poor Ricky.
Yeah, I'm sure he's in heaven sniffing poodles right now.
Probably.
It's Pooh Bear. Yeah,
big yawn.
Yeah. Yeah, no, this boy would not be good as a demo dog, right?
All right. So I want to say it's about that time. Is it about that time? Yeah, it's
fine.
It's about that time. So is there anything else you want to say, like wrapping up, or anything that you didn't think would be an issue that was an issue, or just tell us the dates again and when registration and all that good stuff is going to be live so we can sign up?
Perfect. Yeah, I think I've covered pretty much like all the what it looks like when you're trying to plan something you've never planned before. And I'm sure more things will come up over the next few months, but it's going to be May 10th, 11th, and 12th in Salt Lake City, Utah. We have a Facebook group and Facebook page and Instagram, the Teton Grooming Expo, and registration is going to open the first Monday of February, which I believe is the 5th. So
it is the 5th. It is the day after the New Jersey Groomers Gala.
Yeah, see, you guys go party and then register.
Yes, and this actually is perfect because this airs the 24th. So you've got like
just a little bit after. Yeah.
A week or so, week and a half or so to prepare, to get ready.
Yes.
All right. Awesome. Quincy, thank you so much for joining us.
Absolutely.
It was a little short notice. We were like hounding you for 2 weeks. Like, Quincy.
Well, I was just always wondering if you didn't want to come on until after you set the speaker schedule.
I was like, I'm good with whatever. I just have my inbox is insane. I've had to start asking people to message. If you need Teton, you have to message the Teton page, because I literally one day had like 62 messages in my Facebook Messenger. And I'm like, God, I can't even find half of the people. So I'm like, if you need Teton, you have to message Teton. And so I just sent them all to Teton and cleared them all out so I could resume my normal Facebook page.
That makes
boundaries, setting boundaries.
Setting boundaries. All right. Anything you wanted to add in closing, Mary?
Nope, that's it.
All right, guys. We will see you next week. Same bat time, same bat channel. Safe travels. Well, that was fun. But now it's time to head home. We hope you enjoyed listening as much as we enjoyed chatting with you. If there are any topics you'd like us to discuss, or guests you want to see join us on this crazy road trip of ours, let us know in the Traveling Groomers Facebook page. Don't forget to thank our sponsors. And see you next week, guys. Safe travels.